So a story that got pushed to the back burner tonight in all of this, the White House also fiercely denying reports that the president may have compromised national security in an Oval Office meeting with top Russian officials last week. So last night, the Washington Post published a story relying almost entirely on anonymous sources, claiming that the president did reveal classified information in that room. Our next guest says he knows and trusts one of those Washington Post sources. Erickson is the editor of the RESURGENT and a Fox News contributor. Eric, good evening. Good to have you with us. You have at times been a pretty strong critic of this president, but you say that you know one of the people who leaked that story about what happened in that room, and classified information was shared according to this source. Tell us about this person.
Well, it's a Trump supporter who's very frustrated with the advice the president is getting, and to a degree the advice the president is not taking. And like a lot of other people inside the White House, understands that the president pays a great deal of attention to conversations about him in the media. So when information's not getting to the president, or the president's not taking information, more and more White House sources are leaking to the press so that the president does get the memo. That's why a lot of these leaks are starting to happen. It's not intentional sabotage of the president, it's people inside the White House trying to get the president's attention.
So is this source, it's not Tom Bossert, who has been sort of pointed to as the Homeland Security advisor who read the readout and alerted the CIA and the NSA?
I think there were multiple sources, but no, that's not mine.
All right. So in terms of, what happens next, and give us your reaction to this news story tonight from the New York Times. Once again, anonymous sources, and the memo is not in their hands, but they've learned about this memo. And now, as we've talked about, the Oversight Committee would like very much to see this memo in their hands. What do you think?
Martha, there's a prevailing theme here with the president. He's not a professional politician. The American people voted for someone who is not a professional politician. We should expect and give him some grace to make mistakes that a normal politician wouldn't make, because even he's admitted the job's a lot different than he expected.
There's no grace.
Yeah, exactly. He's not. And the problem for the president, though, on the opposite side, is that because this job is different than he expected, and he's not a professional politician used to this, he needs to do a better job of listening to people's advice, stay off Twitter. I mean, the president has caused these problems himself, as your panelist said, by getting on Twitter and directly contradicting White House staff who were actually making credible cases for firing James Comey and for these other stories, including the Russian leaks. So it goes both ways. He is a new politician. He's not used to the job. We should give him some latitude, but by God, if we're going to give him some latitude, he needs to straighten up himself.
In terms of Jim Comey, and in terms of, how much you believe this story, do you think that this has legs? Just 30 seconds, real quick.
It is because of partisanship, but honestly, it sounds very much to me like he was taking up for a friend. Donald Trump is a very loyal person, probably did it as a favor to Flynn, but that's it.
Gotta leave it there. Thank you, Erickson. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you.
We will have